From liches seeking approval for their private adventurer dungeon to strange goings-on down at the local pet food factory. No problem is too magical nor mundane for Rik and his friends in the newest release by Andrew D. Meredith, Quaint Creatures, the Magical and Mundane. What up, nerds? Welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative. My name is Leslie Smith, and today on the channel, I'm going to chat with you about my reading experience with the newest release from Andrew D. Meredith. Those of you who have been around the channel the last 12 to 18 months, Andrew D. Meredith is a name you've heard before. I love his Needle and Leaf series, which is why I had to get my hands on Quaint Creatures, but I also love him as an audiobook narrator. This is the fourth book that I've picked up written by Andrew D. Meredith, but I've lost count of how many I have of his just because he's the audiobook narrator. Quaint Creatures was published on May 14th of 2024, and it is just a delightful read. Y'all, if you are not smiling the entire time you're reading or listening to this book, honestly, there's absolutely no hope for me being able to recommend a book to you to make you smile and just feel good if this one doesn't do it for you. Our tale begins when a city councilor goes into Quaint Creatures to seek the help of the veterinary doctor there, Rik Softstep. Rik for short. The counselor seeks Rik's aid to help him investigate a magical crate that has been seized by customs on the docks. The troubles caused by this crate during the course of Rik's investigation takes the entire staff of Quaint Creatures to unravel. As is the case with the Needle and Leaf series by this author, Quaint Creatures is filled with lovable, interesting characters, which he gives each one a different voice. I love that so much. It's so easy when you have a big cast of characters, especially in book one of a series. You're getting introduced to everyone for the first time. When an author gives them their own unique, special voice, it makes it so easy to differentiate between all of them and keep them all straight. And I just absolutely love that the author himself is narrating it, because we hear the voices that I imagine is how he hears these characters in his head when he's writing this story. Rik Softstep, our main character, is a giant who runs the veterinary clinic Quaint Creatures. The variety of magical creatures that Rik sees throughout the course of this book was so entertaining. Just the reasons why they were being brought in, how he goes about determining the diagnosis for each one, how he cares for them. Sometimes he takes them into the clinic, or he even rescues them from neighboring dungeons, which is how he got into this business. Before he was a veterinarian, he was a dungeon inspector, which leads me to one of the most delightful things about this book. If you've ever played D&D, you are going to just die reading this book. It's so cute. In this world, and even in the city of Brightfall, you could own a dungeon, and within this dungeon are several levels that you must complete in order to advance to the next one. So there's all the time heroes that come questing to complete these dungeons, and it's for fun. It was so cute. There was this scene where they're in a tavern and Rik is sitting at the table talking to the owner of the dungeon about what could be done to improve upon the dungeon, make it better, make it safer for heroes, make it less work on their healers for certain things. And there are other beings at the table with them that are on their lunch break from their level that the heroes have to fight to advance. It was so cute. I loved this spin on the D&D trope. Something that made Rik Softstep really stand out to me, something that makes him an unforgettable character, is he has his characteristics that's known for giants to have called branching. And this happens when Rik either has a lot on his mind of things he wants to do, so much so that it becomes overwhelming, and he just kind of shuts down, where his mind is trapped just going down all of these different branches of a thought process of all of his tasks and how it is that he needs to complete them. And I thought that was a very interesting take, because we all feel that way sometimes, right? Just the world never just dumps a little bit on us at a time. It seems that something happens and then it just piles on. We just get this huge load of stuff, and it makes it difficult to move forward until you just shut down and you just kind of reset and come up with a plan of attack. The way that this author is able to create all of these fantasy worlds fill them with all of these interesting characters that just make them unforgettable. You fall in love with the majority of them. You have all these different magical creatures, societies, the fun that he has with making unique magic systems. I loved Rik's wife in this one and how meting out justice fed her warlock abilities. Oh my goodness, y'all, you're just gonna love this book, I promise. These are all just scratching the surface of what Andrew G. Meredith's books hold. His creative mind must be like the gnomish built house that Norik and his wife live in. This house is so cool. It doesn't have levels. It just folds in on itself, and they can't build too many of these, and they can't build them close together for reasons which you learn about in the book. But you can just keep turning right and left, and keep going forever. And I think they've only discovered up to around 30 hallways so far. That is how Andrew G. Meredith's brain has to work with all of these stories that he creates and all of these characters. They just all live on a different hallway. I just imagine his mind is like this house, and when he gets ready to work on a new project, he kind of walks through and he's like, okay, do I want to go back down this hallway and continue a series, or do I want to explore a new hallway like Quaint Creatures, a sideways tale? I love the world building. I love the characters and their interactions and relationships with one another. This is a book, along with Needle and Leaf series, I actually wish I had a kid that I could sit down and read these books with. They're family friendly. They're just filled with goodness. Things that I would want to teach my child if I had one. It has that same appealing slice of life feel to it, like Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I just can't say enough about this author and his work. Go read it. Like I said, everything's going to be linked in the description box below for y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you give this book a chance, especially if you love cozy mystery. You are just going to have the best time with this book. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.